Welcome to the Dog Expert Podcast, the podcast dogs would want you to listen to. Powered by canineprinciples.com, helping passionate dog people go from feeling unsure and overwhelmed to confident, compassionate and science savvy through a rich library of online courses and formal qualifications. Each week on the podcast, we dive deep into the real, raw and rewarding world of dogs. This isn't about obedience. This is about understanding. Because dogs aren't problems to solve. They're free-thinking, sentient beings to connect with.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dog Expert Podcast. It is season 2, episode 1, and I'm flying solo this week because Emily is not able to join us live. So, hi Emily, if you're watching, and hello to everyone else as well. We are super excited because this month is Pride Month. We're recording in June, and we are delighted to be celebrating Pride Month and raising the profile of how important inclusivity is, particularly when we are in such testing crazy times as we are. I am so honoured to be joined by 2 amazing ladies this evening who have been doing some incredible work in the dog world around inclusivity this Pride Month. So let me bring on the wonderful Debby, Lucken and the fabulous Tasha, Attwood. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, ladies. It is so wonderful to have you here. I don't know who was more excited about you coming. We've been absolutely buzzing that you were able to join us this evening. Do you want to introduce yourselves to anyone listening and tell them all about what you do in the day-to-day normal life world?
We should start.
Go for it, Debby.
Okay. So I'm Debby Lucken, and I am a dog trainer and a dog behaviorist, and I am the founder of Kids Around Dogs, which is an association of professionals that is started in the UK but is now global, and we specialize in working with children to help them to be happy and safe around dogs and to understand and respect dogs as they should. And I live in Dorset with my husband, our daughter Molly, our 2 doggies, Wilco and Winnie, and our cat Mario. And I think that's it.
Fabulous. And how did you get into running a business that has such meaning and makes such a difference?
Well, it's because of my daughter, really. She started having friends over. I was already a trainer, and then she started having friends over, and I realized how lots of children are either very scared of dogs, could not be anywhere near even our own dogs, and or they're so crazy around dogs, and literally they go nuts for them. And very few. They like the dogs, but that was that. They could be around them without going either nuts for them and wanted to hug them and kiss them all the time and all that, or being terrified of them. So I thought, right, I want to do something to help those children who are scared of dogs, and those children who kind of maybe put themselves into unnecessary danger by annoying the dogs too much. There was nothing around a specific association for this. And so after thinking about it for a long time, then I founded Kids Around Dogs. And so now we have courses for families in general. We have courses for school dogs. They have more of like a permanent positioning to schools. We have programs for where we offer educational talks. We have a fantastic new course on working with neurodivergent children and their dogs, which is very precious to me, this new course. And also there is 2 protocols. One is to overcome the fear of dogs in children, and the other one is to overcome the fear of dogs in adults. So we can now really help massive variety of children, of families, and I'm just really, really happy that we can reach as many people as possible, really, and help as many as possible.
Fantastic, amazing work. Could talk about it all day. I'm sure we could probably talk about it all day as well.
We kind of did when you visited Bournemouth. We did talk about it for like a long time. Talked a lot for ages.
We got to like the end of the beach and we're like, maybe I should turn around now. Now we're nearly in France. And Tasha, hello, welcome to the podcast. Do you want to tell everyone a bit more about you and what you do?
So I'm Tasha Attwood. I live in Lincolnshire and I run Mutts and Mischief Holistic Education and Behaviour Services. So I'm a dog trainer and a behaviourist. And I'm part of the CAD world, which is really cool. And I've actually done the neurodivergent course, which is a neurodivergent adult, I think was really awesome, because that's something that I feel is really misunderstood within our industry, like let alone other industries. So yeah, and I just think CAD's really important to support children like myself, who I was like diagnosed as autistic. And those kids are still out there that might be getting let down by the schools, and they have challenges like with the SEND people who are supposed to like help them at their schools. So yeah, that's why I think it's so important.
Absolutely. And if you had the knowledge that you'd had through the course, but also your diagnosis at an earlier stage of your life, and had that better understanding of how your brain works, do you think that would have had an impact earlier on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think I didn't ever feel that I fitted in, and I didn't feel like I ever belonged. And I also ran away from home as a child because it was abusive. So I've got that scope as well. But and again, it was parents who were failing, so it wasn't a good environment anyway. Let alone a child keeps coming back, and they're getting like new diagnosis like dyslexia and that kind of thing, and then it's you're just stupid, you're stupid and you can't achieve anything, like going through that. And then I think with running away from home as well, I wouldn't have got into maybe some of the situations that I got into, and yeah, had more support. And I think that's another reason why it's so important for CAD, because those kids are out there. And also like when adults try to speak to you about it, like they know something's going on at home, normally like the parents are in the next room, like next door, and can hear everything. So it's really nice to hopefully build a community like where it fosters that children can reach out to us and know that they're safe, and then we can go to the relevant body as well. So yeah, I definitely think going to college, facing university or that kind of thing would have been a lot easier if I'd been diagnosed a lot earlier.
Sorry, just muted myself because Charlie is just a little bit worried about something. Bear with me. What is it?
It's the stick, isn't it? Oh, okay. Bless him.
I think you can see something out there that I can't see. Oh. So I think what you've been through, and to get to the point where you're at now, where you've just absolutely inspirational. But to be able to have open conversations and be able to be vulnerable about your experiences is going to help so many people to actually realize that they're not alone, and that there is help out there, and that it is it's okay to be vulnerable, but at the same time it's not okay that there were flaws in the system. The things like having the parents in the next room when they could hear everything, and you know, we've got personal experiences in our family where a counsellor would try to get a diagnosis for a family member, and it was just a really lengthy, horrible process, and it was like we were lying and no one would believe us. And actually, because girls mask things more, and we're almost overlooked, and it wasn't until the person was 21 and went through a private route and ended up managing to get a diagnosis of ADHD, autism, and dyscalculia as well. But to have been let down through the system the whole way, and to have been referred for counselling and it put down as anxiety, and then the counsellor to be talking about what they'd been confided with people that they shouldn't have been talking about it, and it just breaches the trust, and it just makes you want to retreat, really, and not get the help that you are entitled to and deserve and should get. So if someone is in that situation where they're feeling that they need some additional support, but they have been let down by the system maybe, or they've been judged, or they feel judged in the past, and that they're not good enough to access the support, what would your message be to them?
To reach out to an adult you feel that you can trust or that you've got a connection with, because not all adults are bad, and they're not going to go speak to your guardian, whoever your adult is. And I think that's the main thing, knowing that there's not going to be a breach of trust, and know that it's not going to go back to that person that you're frightened of or you're not getting support from. And yeah, and I know I keep coming back to CAD, but the adults are safe and they've been vetted, and these are adults that any child can trust because of the process that you've set up for us, Debbie. But yeah, I wish there was something like CAD around when I was a kid, and I would have absolutely reached out, because dogs, again, they were my life, because that was my bond and connection. I only felt safe with my dog. And I know there's going to be tons of other kids out there in the same situation, and their dog is going to be their world.
100%.
And coming back as well to, you mentioned at the beginning, is Pride Month as well. It's not just with neurodivergent children, but with anything really. And I think that because we are all very passionate about dogs, and our life is really, a lot revolves around our dogs, and some days I really don't know how I would handle so many things without the help of my dogs, really. So I think while I understand that it's difficult, for a child to go, of any age, to go, how can I possibly talk to the dog trainer about the things that I'm going through? But if anyone, if anyone is listening and they do feel they don't have anyone to talk to, but they are working with a cat professional, they know someone who is a cat professional, you can reach out to us. We will try our best to help. We're not therapists, we're not considered in that respect, but we might be able to help to even just make you feel a little bit better, but also then we can try and help and find the right people that have the ability to professionally help these children. Even if it's someone that that is my next door neighbor kind of thing, we do hear stuff like that all the time, don't we? So it's difficult, it's difficult to go, well, I don't know those people, why should I why should I trust them? But when you don't have anyone else and you feel like you're all alone in the world, just so you're not. And that's why as well, Tasha, what was it? It was about a month ago, I think now. She sent me an email and said, is that all right if I say this? Sent me an email and said, oh, why don't we do a course? Because, Pride Month is coming up. Why don't we do a course to support the LGBTQA plus community? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm up for it. So I started contacting some people, realized that actually a course was a bit of an ambitious thing. It's a bit, oh, that's a bit much. You remember I said, maybe it is a bit big. We did get a bit excited there for a minute.
Might be something for the future though.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, but it was a little bit, tight spot to manage a course. Because also we didn't just want to do it ourselves, we wanted the involvement of other professionals who are, awesome in their different things, and also there is, strength in numbers, and the more of us, the better, kind of thing. And then we talked about it again and decided to go for a calendar kind of thing.
Brilliant.
Every day we'd have a post from a professional in our field. So we got typing and asked all the people that we knew who wanted to take part, and we ended up with more people that actually were needed for the day of the month. So what I personally did, you're gonna see in the Kids Around Dog stuff more than one speaker sometimes in some days. But you, Natasha, pointed something out about July that I didn't know. Do you wanna explain that?
Yeah. So we have June as Pride Month, but we also have Disability Pride Month in July. So it actually runs for 2 months. So it's so much better.
Amazing. And I think just because June is labelled as Pride Month and it's a wonderful celebration and it's fabulous that everyone is pulling together to celebrate. It doesn't have to end there. It doesn't have to end in July. There's no reason why we can't. Well, I'm saying that these are the videos that you've put together. I'm sharing them all year round.
Yeah, and you're in it.
Yeah, I was actually wearing this top. I do own other clothes.
You're always wearing that top.
Debbie's like, your hair looks great, and I'm like, yeah, it's the first time I've been to the hairdresser since lockdown, so I had to do a video. But so we can really just take a minute just to thank you guys, because to have put all this together wasn't something that happened overnight. It took a lot of work in the background, and not only have you collated all the videos into one that we're going to share at the end of Pride Month, you've done them all individually so that we can have one a day, and you've actually put them all onto a wonderful background as well, which is just fabulous. So thank you so much for making this happen. Why did you feel it was so important? I mean, I know why, but why did you guys feel it was so important?
I think because Debbie's neurodivergent course really touched me, and like with the therapists that were a part of the course and learning from these different people, and be like for a lot of autistic or neurodivergent people, a lot of us are non-binary or trans, and we don't kind of like fit into understanding binary, like so male and female and that kind of thing. And again, I grew up not feeling like I was either. And then also I didn't feel like I fitted in with people, because like you get to a certain age and people start having boyfriends and that kind of thing. But I'm Debby, so I needed an attachment to somebody to develop a relationship from there, rather than just like going into a relationship, and being ace as well. So I'm not saying all autistic people, but a lot of us are neurodivergent. And again, it's something scary, and things are so different now. It's wonderful. But at the same time, there's also a really horrible side to it. So I shared a Pride video, I put some famous figures together and was like, Happy Pride Month on the 1st June. And on TikTok, I got some really horrible comments, which I reported. And TikTok was like, no, it doesn't violate our community standards. So
That's
yeah.
surprising, isn't it? I would have thought that this day and age would be a bit more, careful with things.
And what part should the social media platforms be playing in their accountability and how they take ownership for the vile things that they allow to be said? Yeah, it's mind-blowing. There was a TikTok that came up yesterday where there was a lady who...
Oh, she's frozen. Joe, you're frozen. We want to know what happened to the lady. Literally like a cliffhanger, this one. It's good. Oh, no. While we wait for Joe, I also want to say, I think for me was not only the fact that we see a lot of people who are, that have, they are part of the community of the LGBTQA+ community, and they are not accepted even within their family, or maybe they're even scared to come out and say who they are, what they think, how they feel, and all that. And we lost her completely. Do you think we're still live? Hopefully she's coming back now. It's just left the two of us. Hello. But just to say that when I was growing up, all this, and I was growing up in Switzerland as well, which is a much smaller country and very, at least back then anyway, very backwards in many things. So all this there was no such a thing as a Pride Month. There was no such a thing as Pride anything. You wouldn't have been proud of having different opinions, if you like, from others. Oh, there you are. We were just explaining a bit like how it felt for me, and the fact that because I grew up in Switzerland, a much smaller country where the differences in the way people love and the way people are is tricky to have different opinion in anything, but let alone sexuality and all that. And obviously, I'm going to be 45 on Monday, so we're not talking exactly of yesterday. We're talking about 30 years ago or so. Growing up with those kind of mentality and I'm straight, I've always known I was straight. I always fancied the boys. So I knew, and I was I was happy as Larry to be to be straight. But I could see other kids in our school, and it was obvious that they had different view, if you like, or different way of loving that I had, if you like, and they had to pretend that they weren't gay, that they weren't whatever, and all the new terminology as well, they didn't exist. So as a mom, and these I'm speaking, I think, to a lot of parents out there and to a lot of kids as well, please be patient with us, because it's not like we don't want to learn new things. It's just it's tricky to know all the terminology. And even today, my daughter and I were watching a video, and she's gone again. We were watching a video, and I wasn't sure of maybe what gender the singer in the video was, and so I tread carefully around my daughter. My teenager said, "What gender do you know? What gender they identify as?" And then she said, "Oh, she's a girl." And then she goes, "Oh, Mom, you're such a weirdo." And it's not like I'm a weird. I'm trying to understand. Generally, just want to know more, but it's tricky for us as well, coming into new terms and finally new way of seeing the world. And I think it's important to respect people like me as well, that we're just trying to understand new words and everything. But oh my God, open doors to anyone who respects each other as well, and they can love whoever they want, as long as well that they're loved back, if you know what I mean. don't enforce your love on others.
I think
yeah.
it's the same with all sort of areas where there's been prejudices in the past. So, for example, my children are mixed race, and when we first moved to a new area, I was spat at. My daughter, who was 4 at the time, was called some appalling racist names. And when we were watching playbacks of Footballers' Wives, I don't know if you've seen it on, I think it was like 2004 it was recorded. And the language that they're using, and I think the football industry as a whole is still quite, that I can't think of a single footballer who's come out at all. But I think that things have progressed massively, but there are still people. Does it sound really old if I say of our generation, Debbie?
I'm gonna be. Did I say 45, Monday? No, I meant 21.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. I say 29. I
21.
got 29, and I'm sticking there.
29. Oh, 29.
Never mind the big 50 that's looming. But I think it's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to be curious and to come from a place of love, rather than saying words that may be offensive without questioning and saying what would be the appropriate term for me to use in this situation, because I wouldn't want to ever offend anyone.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And what if someone uses language that isn't appropriate, do you pull them up on it and say, did you know that could be seen as quite offensive?
I do particularly, because it's like you said, Debbie, with it's hard to ask questions when you're not in the community. It is hard to ask questions because for myself being non-binary and my pronouns are they, them, but when people refer to me as like a female, I'm like, well, technically, like I am biologically, and it's having that patience with people. So there's a difference. So like when I reached out to you by email, Debbie, like I know how you are and everything. But if that had been somebody else, I wouldn't have been able to say like the LGBTQ plus community, because of there's quite a lot of homophobic people out there still. And a lot of adults kind of don't know how to talk about it without using these horrible slurs and stuff. So if you look back to the 80s with Stonewall, and all of this amazing things that people have done through the years, like even in the 50s, it is important to focus and remember that, because the older people in the LGBT community, they're also quite happy to talk to people, and it's less of that fear. So what my generation has, we've kind of been supported by the Gen X who rose up and fought for us, but it wasn't perfect. And then it's really sad we can now see that with Brianna J as well. Each generation it's getting a little bit better, but then Brianna J's happened, and now it's we're going back beyond the 80s to it's not very nice. And then getting the comments on TikTok and stuff, I was I'm not engaging with you because you're clearly trolls. But if that was somebody that I knew, or if it was another dog professional and they said something, I'd absolutely pull them up on it and say, this is offensive, this is why it's offensive. Because I think people need to be kinder, because so many children are getting murdered as well.
God, yeah.
And in the US, four either kids or young adults every week. And instead we're losing things like they're going to try and stop gay marriage, and a lot of people had to leave Florida because of the transgender stuff going on, and a teacher got sacked for standing up for transgender kids. And the world's going backwards quite a lot, and I'd be really proud if the dog community at least could stay stable and be actually you be who you want, you love who you want. Because if you're loving somebody, that's a beautiful thing. And I don't think anybody should be taking that away from another person.
And same what Natasha said as well on the US. I know that we are not, none of us live in the US, but unfortunately or not, the US is a very powerful country, and a lot of the time they lead things. Sometimes are good, you know. I love a good Hollywood movie like anyone else, you know. But when it's negative things, it's really scary to think that they might influence, and they've already have actually influenced other countries, just because they are a powerful country. So if, you know, again, if anyone is watching over there, they can do something, please do it. Even if it's just one thing, like we've done this video, we're doing these videos every day. They, you know, the thought behind this thing as well, when we were talking about with Natasha as well, we thought, gosh, if this one video reaches one kid, one person, wouldn't that be awesome? That one person that needed it that day. That's it, you know, we've done it. Even if it's just that one person that feels supported, feels elevated, feels empowered because of one of the messages, we've done it.
It just feels like they belong, and that they're not, that they fit in, and they're not sort of outsiders or sort of on the edge of the rest of the world.
Exactly.
We're all together.
Yeah, and they shouldn't feel that way, because we all have opinions. We're all different in our different ways. We, you know, for instance, I myself, I'm a foreigner here, but I've been welcomed by so many. It's not always been super easy, but I guess I am lucky to be white, to be honest, because if I hadn't been, I probably wouldn't have it as easy as I had it in some respect. But then again, as soon as I open my mouth, everyone knows, you're not English, are you?
Yeah, but you can say Mario like no one else.
I know, Mario.
Mario.
Yeah, with the new Mario go-kart thing, everyone's like, can you tell me Mario?
I'm going to get you to say Mario and Luigi and voice note it to me so I can listen to it every morning just to make me smile. Start the day off with a smile.
Mario, do I need to call you every day? Go, Mario and Luigi, get up.
No, you can't say it happy. You can't get bored.
No, okay. It's Mario and Luigi, get up. And then you wake up with that feeling like, why do I fancy spaghetti and pizza for breakfast?
I wonder. Ice cream is that.
Yeah.
So just going back to Pride Month and the amazing stuff that you're doing to raise awareness and to just make a stand, really, what's not acceptable, and actually need to make our voices heard, and hopefully support other people in speaking out and just living their truth and being themselves and feeling happy to comfortable to be able to express who they really authentically are, because why should anyone ever be made to feel that they can't be their true selves, and just be their authentic selves, because of the amazing stuff that you've been doing, and the you said there's been a little bit of negativity on TikTok. Have you had much other response from the videos?
No, not really. Like, so YouTube, nothing's occurred, so we're not seeing likes or support, apart from like in Andrew Hale's group. We've seen quite a lot of support there, and you, Joe, of course, commented as well, and boosted it up. But this is a problem as well, because when we was reaching out to people, and when I spoke to people about this before, about doing stuff for Pride, well, we don't have to, because we're accepting. It goes without saying, but that's really unhelpful, because, you know, it's like a get out clause, and then we don't know who we're actually safe around. So people saying, oh, well, it goes without saying, pop in Pride stuff or transgender stuff on your content, like maybe once a month or something, will be really helpful, because on my website, the first thing you see is like, hi, I'm Tasha Attwood, and I'm this and that and that and the other, and everybody's welcome, no matter who you are, how you identify, that kind of thing. And I think that's where, as an industry, we need to step up and say, actually, I am supportive, because it makes you feel like, oh, is that person actually supportive? And they're just saying it, kind of thing. And like, going back again, sorry, to Brianna J, you know, that child struggled in school a lot. If you watch a documentary with her mum, like, there was already dealing with teenage problems, and like, her mum was a single mum raising the kids, and then Brianna was struggling with eating disorders, which we know it's like comorbidity, because of like, you having this problem with your identity, you're getting bullied at school. Oh, well, an eating disorder means that I can control what's going on around me. And I think we've got to stop this "it's not my problem" turning away, because that's not homophobic, obviously, but that family could have been helped a lot more, and then maybe kids won't end up in these situations that are really dire. And I don't think it's enough anymore just to say, well, it goes without saying, because I work with a lot of clients who work with me because of that little paragraph on my website, because I know that they're safe, and I think more people should do it. But yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm like disabled as well, and then yeah, so you get that side of it. But again, disabled people don't feel that they can reach out to whoever, and I think it's really important that we show this and make it a normal thing to see on our Facebook business pages and our website, so that then people can go, I know I'm going to be safe with this person, and I want to set up a little interview with them, see how we get on, and then maybe you get a client out of it who feels safe, and by word of mouth, you're getting lots of people coming to you. So it actually works in your best interest.
Yeah. And also, if I may, when you get a bad comment, right? But because sometimes, it's fine for whether we reached out to join this project and they refused, that's perfectly fine. But one of the things that seemed to be also a little bit the common fear was, what if I post something, what if I post a video and then I get the haters coming out? And it might happen, it might happen. And I kept thinking, gosh, what if, I post my video there and someone reaches out and starts being horrible? I'm thinking, to me, in my page and whatever, is that one video, maybe two videos that get the haters. And I can just go, oh, whatever, and brush it off and not engage and let it go. And to me, it would be that one day on social media, that one comment, maybe two. But for the people in this community, could be something that goes on every single day of their lives. And maybe even by the people that they love the most and they're supposed to be protected by. So again, no judgment. No one has to do anything they don't want to do. That's perfectly fine. But maybe you have a little think when you're thinking, oh, should I or should I not post something, in favor of Pride Month or in favor of this community or any other community. When you think that you're worried about that one comment, and I understand that because it's horrible to get haters, think that for you will be that one comment. And you can even delete it if you want to, because Facebook allows you, or social media allow you to delete comments like that. But think about those people in those communities with those religions or whatever it is, how they feel every day of their life getting haters messaging, or even to their faces, as it happened to yourself, Joe. It must have been horrible. And it is when someone has a little comment to say, and it has happened to me so many times, the little comment to say about the foreign, and then they go, oh, but no, you, Debby. Okay. Just because I'm here. If I hadn't been here, it would have been me as well. So it doesn't matter what community you want to help out, reach out to, just do it. Just do it. It's that one message. It's not gonna hurt you very much in the long term. If anything, it's gonna help you to feel better, to do something nice for other people, and hopefully to help someone out there.
And like you said, even if just it makes a difference to one person who sees a video, that's just it's worth it.
Yeah.
But it's also about standing up for what you feel's right. And with the dogs, I will stand up and advocate for force-free methods and consent-based handling and cognitive-led rehabilitation. And I will stand up for all of the things that I feel very, very strongly about, because it's black and white in my head what's right and what's wrong in terms of how they're treated as completely free-thinking beings who are captives, literally. And with this, it's no different to me either. It's right to stand up for people who need us to stand up for them because they're being felt to be excluded and not part of the rest of society, which is just, I'm not allowed to say naughty words. I said this before I came on.
Yeah, you're not allowed to curse.
So,
you can do it with kindness as well, and I actually, going back to the fact that Joe and I had a lovely walk in Bournemouth, and do you remember that day? It was like puppy day, wasn't it?
Oh my
So many
God,
puppies
it was crazy.
There was one that just ran. It just went, and that was that.
It's like, where did that one come from? Where's that one gone? And oh, they were guardians. Oh,
and inside you're screaming, don't you? You go, what?
Yeah.
But then, ever so professional, ever so polite. I can't remember the exact things you said, but you were lovely to there was that older couple with a little puppy.
Oh, yeah.
The puppy just legged it.
He's got his whistle. The puppy's like, see ya. Oh my goodness. That was just, I don't know quite what happened that day because there were so many dogs on the beach.
Yeah, it was like they knew we were around.
Yeah, it was.
What was going on?
But if you can't reach the guardian, then you can't help the dog. And I always think that training the humans is more important than training the dogs because the dogs already know. We just need to make sure that we're continuing our learning, and each dog teaches us something different as well as all of the academic education. But yeah, I could talk about that for hours as well.
Yeah. It's so similar, isn't it? It's so similar when we, as you said, we know we want to treat dogs right and we want to help them and we want to make sure that they have a happy, healthy, and the best life they can possibly have. It's the same thing, isn't it? And if we can reach out to the family that has adopted, dogs, and if we can even just help that one doggy, isn't that what we want after all? But yeah, the concept is exactly the same. So let's hope that we can help kids and adults as well out there, not only children, of course, to feel proud of who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. We're running out of time. Have you got any final words, Tasha? On the spot.
Yeah. Quick think of something. No, it would be really nice if our industry could start stepping up a little bit and just showing people, that they are safe, because like I do all my one-to-one consults by Zoom, and it's okay me working with these people, but I can't work with everybody. Whereas if I could safely say, you can go to this professional and I promise that you'll be safe and they won't ask any questions that they shouldn't be asking, that kind of thing, that would actually be really nice. Because like I say, when we can look after the guardian, who's a primary caregiver, then we're looking out for the dog and protecting the dog by protecting that person. And we've got to understand that you may have privilege because of like the colour of your skin and that kind of thing, but every single person is on a different journey and maybe battling different things. So I think it's just important to genuinely be nice and be kind to people, rather than just doing like a Facebook hashtag or an Instagram hashtag because it's like popular at the moment. But I think when you are positive and kind, and I think it pulls people into you who need that help and a little bit of guidance as well, just to feel safe.
Yeah,
And then you'll be surrounded by people that you actually want to be surrounded by as well.
yeah, and who are in alignment with your values, and who also believe that they should be standing up for what's right. Yeah, absolutely. Any final words from you, Debbie?
Just that, whatever you do, remember our kids are always watching us. And so, hopefully by being, as Tasha said, by being kind, by being respectful, and remember our children are looking at what we're doing. And if we are these kind of nice people, hopefully we'll also be raising lovely, lovely young humans that one day will be older humans like us.
If anyone wants to reach out to you, Tasha, where can they get in touch? Where can they find your details?
If they go to my website, which is mutsandmischief.com, so it's muts and an N and then mischief.com, all as one. So it isn't and, it's abbreviated.
Just for now.
And then that's got all of my socials on there, and where people can reach out on the platform they feel most comfortable with.
Amazing. And Debbie, where can people find your contact info?
So you can go on kidsaronddogs.co.uk, and you can find there then also the different platforms of where we are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Please follow us on YouTube. And everywhere. I think
hold on. Look, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Nice one. Also subscribe to the Kids Are on Dogs one.
Brilliant. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on to talk to us this evening. It's just an absolute joy to have you both here. Hopefully you'll be able to join us on future podcasts too and come out to play again. And thank you from the bottom of all of the dog industry's hearts for what you've been doing to raise awareness for inclusivity this Pride Month. Really, really appreciate all that you've done.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll see everyone watching next week for season 2, episode 2. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Dog Expert Podcast, the podcast dogs would want you to listen to. If you've enjoyed this episode, do come and let us know in our free Facebook group for dog lovers everywhere, Ethical Dog Training with Canine Principles. That way we can make more content like this that you'll love. We would love for you to leave a review on here and hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode.